better from rolling back.
I sold my wheel a few weeks ago. I needed the money. I sold it. I don't have a rig anymore. I'm retired. I'm a retired sim racer. Here we come into Paddock Hill Bend nonetheless for the first lap here for this final race of the evening. Oh, and who's that lost it? That's Doris Steer there, who got sideways coming through Paddock Hill Bend, and he's down to the back. So Doris Steer's had a horror show there. Smoky Devil, the leading, coming through Druids for the first time. Pot the Brown has got the move done on FRD up into second place. In the background there, you've got Mike ahead of Aussie and Cobb at the rear of this what's now a 6-car train here for the lead, but LFRD up into second place. Pot the Brown has lost out to Mike. Mike's up into third place. Oh, as Pot the Brown cuts Aussie off there. Aussie onto the grass. Has they got damage as Aussie appears to be waiting for Pot the Brown. Cobb there has moved through but hasn't really gained anything. He's lost time to the leaders as well. It's carnage here on this first lap.
Oh, that was a rookie. Come on, guys, you have to leave a little bit more room than that. As I believe it was Kimi Räikkönen that says you always have to leave the space.
Oh no, that was Fernando Alonso.
That was Alonso, yes, that's my fault, yes. Yeah. You always have to leave the space.
That was a message to Rosberg actually at Bahrain. I remember watching that live because basically what happened was Alonso was trying to go down the inside of him, and basically Rosberg squeezed him, and Alonso ended up having to go on to, well, what on most tracks a bit of grass, but obviously at Bahrain it's sand, and ended up driving along the sand for about 200 metres flat out. And yeah, his radio was a little bit chaotic, to say the least.
And iconic as well, but the thing the one I was thinking about was Abu Dhabi when Kimi was says shut up, I know what to do, or something like that. I can't remember the one I was thinking about with Kimi.
Oh, it's Mike down the inside of LFRD into Druids. LFRD's trying to go for the cutback. Mike there going to hold the inside here for turn 3 and it's going to get that job done. But yeah, I know exactly the one you mean because he was leading that race and it was like completely, I think everything kind of fell into place. It was a perfect storm because you had Vettel starting from the back, you had Lewis who was on pole who retired from the lead because his McLaren that year had shit reliability. And then you had basically he needed stuff to go on around him in order to have a chance to win that race, but then he's leading on that final safety car, and you just remember his engineer going through all of the rituals and stuff like that, and stuff that you had to do, keep your tyres warm, blah blah blah, and he's just leave me alone, I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, that's when he was still racing for Lotus.
Yeah, I remember that quite well because he had a few sniffs of a win that season, but that was the only one he actually won. But he was up there. I mean, I think that was his first season back after his return as well, because he had a 2 year sabbatical. And I remember because he went to do rallying and NASCAR and all that stuff during his 2 years out. Came back to F1 like nothing happened.
NASCAR was this time that he retired.
No, he did a bit of NASCAR at that time as well. Not as much. He wasn't a permanent driver. Oh, it's Mike here down the inside of Smokey into Paddock Hill Bend, and he's going to make that one stick. There is Mike, beautifully done. Up into P1, and Smokey had absolutely no answer to that whatsoever. LFRD is trying to close up onto the back of Smokey as well here, but Mike doing brilliantly there.
Do me a favour, move your camera a bit to the left please, it's kind of shifted.
Okay, how's that?
Perfect. Cool. There you go.
For those of you who don't know, Ian's not actually in this session. I'm recording my screen on a Discord video call. So he's watching a pixelated version of what you're seeing on the screen. That's how he's...
It's actually not all that bad.
No, well, it's a 1080p camera. Of course it's going to be that bad. But,
well, it doesn't help that it keeps on doing that whole focusing... It doesn't help that it's in the whole focusing thing every 2 seconds.
Oh, right, yeah. Every time the camera angle changes, it's probably refocusing, isn't it? Especially in the dark as well. It's probably... Oh, God, I wouldn't even want to be on your end right now. That's why I'm kind of I'm basically just holding the floor until Ian decides to speak, because I know that he's going to be limited in what he can see here. Oh, is LFRD wide going through the third to last corner onto the grass. Doing a great job at the moment though, holding second place, but he's going to have Cobb and Aussie hunting him down in the final part of this race. Mike though, after his disappointing performance in the second race, is clearing off into the distance.
Let's not talk about commentator's curse.
We all know how strong this commentator's curse is. Do you know what? It's weird because when there's only one person commentating, like it has been the case for many seasons now, the commentator's curse isn't as prevalent, but
because it doesn't manifest as strong when there's only one person, because it takes 2 people. Yeah.
that pendulum needs to be rocked by a pair of experienced hands who know how to bestow their utmost. I don't even know what the word is, but yeah.
Especially when one of those two people has a computer that can run a game that allows you to do proper events.
I don't exactly know what you're referring to there.
Yeah, I remember that time you tried to load up a Settle Course of competition on the PC and you were nowhere near what you had to be.
Oh god. No, so I can run ACC. It can run slightly bearably on the absolute lowest graphics settings you can possibly imagine. Saying that though, my computer's now in a much worse state than it was then. It was actually quite new then. Now it's completely battered, the screen's caved in. To be honest, there's circuitry and wiring exposed. And it might be something to do with the fact that at times it's been rather slow and it's really made me angry. And
yeah, but that's a you problem. It's your point.
Essentially my frustrations have been aired upon the face of the computer, but we can see here LFRD wide out of the final corner, and he's going to lose out to Cobb and Aussie Albie here. So by those two now up into the podium places, and it's the same three podium sitters on the podium at the moment that we've had in the first two races of this season so far. Cobb there a bit wide, coming out of Paddock Bend into Druids we go. He's going to cover the inside line off. Aussie trying to go round the outside here. He can keep himself there left the inside for the next corner, but Cobb.
We lost someone.
Nick Devilla didn't start the final race. Nick Devilla had to shoot off because we were running so far behind. He had to take off tonight, which is a shame.
I blame you.
Yeah, it's my fault. No,
I'm
completely and utterly.
It's not your fault. You can't help what happens with technology.
Completely and utterly my fault. I agree.
It's not.
Part of the course. But I'll be still holding on. No, everything's my fault. Every conceivable disaster or tragedy is actually my fault. That's actually a fact.
Shut up.
But anyway, we're watching this battle to continue to rage on here for second place. LFRD's trying to get himself back on the podium here if he possibly can. But to be fair, it's been actually a really good race here from LFRD. I've got to say, the performance has been really strong, and keeping Aussie and Cobb honest here after they've got ahead of him.
Well, I've never driven the Porsche GT4 and Project Cars 2, so I don't know exactly how it feels compared to the Ginetta. So I can't give my own insight into it, but he did seem to be handling it pretty well, even though he did have that major slowdown moment on the last lap.
Yeah, he seems to be keeping it together. I mean, the Ginetta's the only car I've driven at any sort of length on this game. I drove the KTM briefly. I've driven the Porsche on default, but yeah, Ginetta's always been my go-to car. It's stable, it's predictable. You kind of know exactly.
It's given you a win at Spa, the most unlikeliest of tracks.
When was that? I don't remember this.
Simply.
Oh, and the GT3, not the GT4. Yeah. No, because we were teammates. We were teammates in the Ginetta back in Simplay. I can't remember what season it was. It was one of the early seasons, I think. I remember that really well.
Two?
Might have been season 2. I just remember we were teammates for the whole season, and I remember you actually. I think you outperformed me in the Lambo, but in terms of raw pace, I think I outperformed you in the Ginetta.
Yeah,
so we were teammates for 2 seasons, weren't we?
Yeah, because I'm sure I got a few wins in the Lamborghini, because my first win at Simply was at Bathurst in the rain.
Yeah, I remember I had one win in the Lambo at Simply. It was right at the end of the season because I wasn't. Aussie Albie into the pits. It's not fuel because he's got plenty of fuel. He's got a little bit of a scratch on the front, but God knows why he's coming in because he doesn't really need to. Did he maybe jump the start? No, he didn't jump the start.
No, because
pit stop.
No, yeah, plus there would be a red marker next to his name.
How strange. Why is he coming in?
Oh, well, this is definitely going to drop him back down to last place, unfortunately.
Looking at the fuel gauge, he's got 17 litres in, and we've got obviously 6 laps left to go. Maybe he reckons he can't get... No, because he hasn't put any fuel in. So why did he stop? He didn't put any fuel in the car, or did he? Because
Or maybe he's got the wrong tyres on and he's only just noticed?
No, because he was keeping up with Cobb and LFRD. He was in a battle with them. If he had the wrong tyres on, that wouldn't have happened. He hasn't changed.
Not necessarily.
He hasn't put fuel in, so he must have. I don't know. I can't work that one out. We'll have to find that one out after the race. But very strange incident there. Emma says he hit the wall. Oh, okay.
Oh.
His damage didn't seem that bad, but I guess obviously if he'd driven around for another lap, maybe we would have seen him lose a bit more time, and potentially that pit stop was needed in order to prevent him from losing more time than he otherwise would have if he'd stayed out.
But it definitely did seem to be that he had the pace to continue on with the rest of that group that he was battling with, but it also felt like he couldn't handle it anymore.
Yeah, I don't know, it just seemed a bit suspect, but nonetheless we've got LFRD trying to come back at Cobb here. He's really got the pace tonight, LFRD. Great driving. Doris Deer is actually closing up onto the back of these two here, Cobb and LFRD at the moment. You can see he's
well, a battle down the field, I think. Aussie Albie with Pot.
He's come out just ahead of Pot the Brown, yeah. Those two obviously scrapping over P6 and 7 here in this race. Mike in the meantime leading the race has cleared off into the sunset. He's nearly 10 seconds clear of Cobb and LFRD, so it's been an unbelievable performance here from Mike.
Let's not talk about move.
No, we mustn't put the curse on him, because when somebody's leading by 10 seconds, the only thing that can stop them is us.
Oh, I'm very aware of that. You've done it to me on more than one occasion.
I would never do such a thing. But here we go. We've got
you
Cobb and LFRD. No, I would never. We've got Cobb there running wide onto the grass, getting it all sorts of out of shape there, but holding on to it. But these guys are continuing to lose more time. Cobb knows he's got pressure from behind, which is preventing him from being able to extract the absolute potential out of the car. And LFRD is just waiting for him to make a mistake. As we come into the penultimate corner here on lap 9, we've got just over 4 laps left to go. Mike's pretty much got this one home and hosed. Yes, I'm trying to put the curse on him. Sorry, Mike. Sorry, not sorry. If you're watching this afterwards, but currently Doris Steer is closing the gap to these two cars.
Had a bit of a wiggle there.
He did, yeah. It was a little bit shaky. Doris Steer is closing in lap after lap on these guys. He was half a second quicker than Cobb on that last lap. Let's see what the delta is this time around. Cobb at 31.2, Doris Steer at 30.9, continuing to chip away at these two.
And LFR has to really watch what he's doing behind that generator, because the more that you stay behind it, the less grip you're going to have, and the more of a chance you're going to overheat those front tyres.
100%, and obviously he's not too far ahead of Smokey either, so he could easily drop out of a top 4 here. He's got Doris Steer on the back of him already, we know that, but Smokey Devil also coming into this picture. This could be a 4-way battle for this second place. I'll tell you what, it's a bit like having Max Verstappen out front, having Mike in the lead at the moment, because if it wasn't for Mike being 10 seconds clear, we'd be having a 4-way battle for the lead. Look at this. Currently 4 cars.
You're going to get slapped to the back of the head in a minute if you don't stop trying to cross him.
Sorry mate, I'm just quoting the thing that they've got going on. Have you seen P1 Matt and Tommy? I'm sure you've seen it.
I think so.
It's a really good F1 YouTube channel, but on there they have like this whole thing where they pretend that Max Verstappen doesn't exist.
Oh, right.
It's like this alternate universe, the most exciting F1 championship, and you've got like 4 drivers in contention for the championship. You've got Alonso, you've got Hamilton, Perez and Russell basically in a battle for the championship.
Where's Norris and all this? Because if you take Norris out of that McLaren and put him in a decent car,
Norris in the was in a shitbox.
Yeah, but if you take him out of a McLaren and put him into a Mercedes or something, he would perform beautifully. I feel like he would actually outperform Russell.
That remains to be seen. Might be a bit of a push. I don't know.
No, I feel like he's got the potential.
Yeah, he's quick. Thing is, I don't know how. Obviously, everybody says about how he demolished Ricciardo, but I don't know if that was the Daniel Ricciardo that we kind of like become accustomed to. Yeah. I think that the McLaren, for whatever reason, it just was like it was basically a recipe for disaster. That car and his driving style and his state of mind and everything. I think it was just like the worst possible situation for him.
Yeah, it's because the McLaren was at least for the seasons that Ricciardo was driving it. It was notorious for being understeery, whereas Ricciardo always preferred a very, very loose car, very much like Verstappen.
Yeah, he's one of those drivers who likes to get it pivoted into the Apex.
Yeah, he likes there was a video I watched the other day there that Verstappen drives very much like what Michael Schumacher did. He likes a very, very loose back end, so he can't get he can take different lines into corners. He can take a deeper entrance to get a faster exit.
Well, the thing about Verstappen and Schumacher is that they both, the amount of work that they do at the apex of the corner is what sets them apart from most drivers. The amount that they're able to get the car moved in that sort of zone, isn't it?
Well, it's, if you put, since you got a lap of Schumacher at what's an active track that still races back the route that we race nowadays.
Silverstone.
Yeah, Silverstone.
Or bit part of Silverstone.
Yeah. See it like Maggots and Beckett's.
LFRD was all over the place there as they came out of turn 3, but kept onto it. That was close there, but he's now going to be under pressure from Doris Deer. He was basically in the air there, almost, as he went on.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, the flying pig. But yeah, if you were to go onto YouTube, grab a lap of Verstappen lapping, say, this year, or then go and grab a video of Schumacher going through Maggots and Beckett's whenever he went there. You can see that they pretty much have very identical lines, and the way that the steering wheel movements are so similar compared to other drivers.
Yeah. Yeah, I get what you mean.
Yeah.
But here we go. We've got Thoris here on the back of it. LFRD coming out of the final corner. This is a battle for P3. Sorry, mate. I've just got to focus on this because Cobb pulled away from this battle. As here we come into Paddock Bend, but LFRD's going backwards a little bit at the end of this race. We've seen a couple of mistakes coming into play. Obviously, the pressure of being in a podium position. This would be his first ever podium if he can hold on for this one. Obviously, Ozzy Albi was on the podium in the first 2 races of the night, and but pitting due to damage in this final race of the night. And LFRD's really wide there coming out of turn 3, which could give Doris a bit of a run, but it's going to affect it.
Cutting some grass.
Yeah.
He was pulling up Bottas at the Red Bull ring.
Doing a bit of lawn mowing there, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, lost my train of thought on this final lap of the race, but we've got Mike coming into the final few corners, and we've got to put the curse on him now because he's only got 2 corners to go. But here he comes.
Spin it. You know you want to spin it.
Hold it together, mate. Just don't mess it up now. Come on. It'd be really embarrassing if you mess it up now, Mike. Come on. But here he comes out of the final corner, and it's going to be his 2nd win of the night. 2 wins from 3 to kick off his season. A 3rd place in the middle race. I think he's going to be leading the championship. It's going to be quite close with Cobb. But Mike comes over the line. Our 4-time champion of the Clio Cup takes the final race of the evening here for the season opening round of the GT4 championship. It's going to be Cobb to come around to take 2nd place here, and he's going to be a couple of seconds clear of LFRD in the end, just putting a lap there on somebody, I think. Not quite sure. Who? No, in fact no. So that was LFRD and Doris in the background who came over in 3rd and 4th. So LFRD taking his first ever podium here at Motive. Well done on his first ever appearance on the channel. Smoky Devil coming through the final corner. It's going to be a P5 for him. Bit of a, I don't know, not the best race in the 2nd race of the night. I can't remember what he did in the 1st race because obviously we weren't here, but P5 for him. Yeah, I'm sure he'll take that. Ozzy Albi coming through into the final corner. What a disappointing final race of the night it's been for him after a couple of podium positions, but still a good start to his season. Could we finally see Ozzy Albi extract his true potential and fight out for a championship? He seems to be pretty handy in these GT4s, but definitely more to come from him, I would say. Pot the Brown coming up for the right, P7 here for him.
For the amount of times that I've raced with Ozzy Albi, he's always been pretty much midfield to the front of the pack in terms of positions, so I know he's definitely got the potential to be more up there. It's just not been his day, unfortunately.
Yeah, he's got his cars, he's got his categories which he is really strong in, and then there's others which maybe not so much. But yeah, it'd be great to see him challenging week in week out here on a Tuesday night. But that is that here for this GT4 Championship first round of a 15-round season. 45 races this season, lots and lots to come. But yeah, if you're interested in joining the leagues, www.motiveracing.com. We've got so many spaces in this GT4 Championship, it's ridiculous. If you fancy getting involved, please do come along if you're a clean racer on Project Cars too. To the guys watching this back, also feel free to share it with your clean racer friends, because we need to fill up this grid, man. We need to fill up this grid. It's not good enough. The racing's been fantastic here. Really enjoyed the clean racing. But yeah, we need to get these grids packed out. But thanks everybody once again. Ian, pleasure as always, and great to have you alongside me in the box.
Of course. It's always a pleasure to be here and come back to my roots and see how things are going.
Definitely so. Thanks everybody. We'll see you soon.